Hey guys, we are back and it is Dragon Day. Long awaited Dragon Day. I know it's been a while, but I'm so excited to show you guys what I found. We have 7 different patterns to go through today. A couple I really love and a couple I have some thoughts about. Let's dive right in. Pattern roundup number 3, dragons. And this was your guys' choice. You guys picked this from the poll that I posted on my community page. Dragons won very clearly, not overwhelmingly. You guys also really want to see cows and maybe dinos. We'll get to those, I promise. We will get to those eventually. But today is all about the dragons and I'm so excited. It is Lunar New Year. It is Year of the Dragon and we are seeing dragons pop up all over the place. So I'm so excited you guys picked it. I have so much to tell you. We have so much to talk about. We're gonna start, where are we gonna start? We are gonna start with I think the only free pattern I have for you guys today. We'll start with it at the beginning. So if you only are interested in the free patterns, this one is the one that I tried. There are quite a few popping up. I tried this one. This is from AmiteurHour on Instagram. And it is this super cute little baby dragon. This pattern is really sweet. It's quick. It's not no-sew, don't be deceived. Although there are little bobble stitch legs, you do have to sew on these wings. The only thing that this pattern did not have going for it is this ridiculous parfait yarn I used. This parfait chunky pink lemonade color was just a disaster. I mean, it is still, I don't know if you guys can see, like fluff is still falling off of these 2 parfait yarns I've used. I'm so frustrated with them, but this pattern worked up really well. It is really sweet. There is a lot to like about it. I think it could be a relatively quick make. For me, maybe not my favorite dragon pattern, and I will tell you why. I love a relaxing crochet pattern. This one wasn't relaxing for me. It did not have predictable, and that's true for a few of these. It did not have predictable like increase 1 single crochet times 6 around. It didn't have a lot of rows like that. The rows were very, very defined, like 2 single crochet, 3 increase, 2 single crochet, 1 increase, 2 single crochet. Like that might be a round. I don't know what that was. Anyway, it just had a lot of very individual rounds, so I had to focus and really keep an eye on the pattern the whole time I was making it. It never really got into a rhythm for me. I did miss that. I really like when I can get into that crochet rhythm and just kind of start vibing with the yarn and the hook. It just, I don't know, that's me. That's me. This one wasn't like that for me. So it did feel like it took effort all the way through, although it was quick. It was under 30 minutes or right around 30 minutes for me to make. Really generous of designers that put out these trending free patterns. I appreciate them so much. So huge shout out to AmiteurHour. I really do like this one. I would recommend trying it. It's free. What have you got to lose? See what you guys think. Let me know. It's cute. The head shaping, the body shaping, all really good, which is what make it more complicated. But really, really cute. Okay, pattern number 2. Let's talk about this one. This is from Knot Monster. And I was so excited about this particular pattern. First of all, I think it's super cute. It's got these really long, skinny ears, these cute little arms. These feet are to die for. These little feet on this little Knot Monster dragon. We have little toes and it's really cute. So many things to love about the design of this little cute dragon, but so many things that I felt slightly let down by on the pattern. Let's get into it. First, I really wanted to make this one. It was very high on my list. Knot Monster is a pretty epic creator. So many patterns, pattern books on Amazon, individual patterns on Etsy. I'm gonna link some of both down below because really the design of his amigurumi are some of the cutest. Really, really cute. Here's where it went wrong for me. In the pattern, there is not a lot of specificity, which I really appreciate, especially for beginners. Like, you would make the ears and it would say fasten off and attach to the head. And that was it. No guidance on like what row to put it on. I think that's really, really valuable information. And I would love to see that in this pattern. Also, there were pictures, but not a lot of pictures. And the pictures were of very specific parts. And there were some things that I felt like I didn't get a good picture of. There's a great front facing picture. There is no back facing picture on the entire pattern. There's, like, you can see the little end of the tail in one part. Really, otherwise, no other pictures of the back. And there are wings. There are wings for this pattern. You will notice there are not wings on here. There was no picture of where to put them, and they were really complicated. And I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to do the wings. They were the most complicated wings of any pattern I tried for this video. And it's not that there weren't clear instructions, there were, but they were definitely aimed to someone that's a little more of an intermediate crocheter, in my opinion. There were a couple of pictures, but there was also a diagram. So if you guys are familiar with working with diagrams where it'll show you the stitches and where they go, that might work really well for you. I find that a lot of people that are starting out with amigurumi are not familiar with that. And I think that would be really tough to navigate. Because of how complicated the wing pattern was for this one, I mean, it's just screaming for a video tutorial. And it is so easy to make videos in this day and age that if you have something really complicated or complex, I feel like there's no reason you shouldn't have a video attached to your pattern. I just think that's a no-brainer for really complicated things. And I would not want this to be one of your first patterns if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner and you want to make a dragon, there are other choices here that I think would be so much better than this one. If you are a little more advanced beginner or intermediate and you just really love the design of the Knot Monster crochet amigurumi, go for it. There's so many good patterns, and you can buy the books and pattern bundles on Amazon or on Etsy, and they are a great deal. This pattern I bought on Etsy for just $2.99. That being said, there is nothing no-sew about this pattern. So if that's important to you, that's not happening here. All of these things were individually sewn on. Like I said, the feet, I think, are just the hero of this pattern. They are so stinking cute. This is done with a puff stitch instead of a bobble stitch. The tutorial on the pattern for the puff stitch was brilliant. It had like 6 pictures just on how to do the puff stitch, but no pictures of the back of the dragon. All in all, A+ for this design, but I really think the pattern needs to up its game. I think that it's just not good enough. Sorry, not monster. Also, this one, I used the Hobby Baby Snuggle Yarn, Hobby Baby Snuggle Yarn, and the Premier Parfait Glitz, and I think they're so stinking cute. This one I have pattern tested for this designer once before. I don't really know her other than that, but I did just notice she just started posting on a YouTube channel, so I'm gonna link her. I'm gonna link everybody down below with all the patterns so you guys can just go click and find them if you want them. This is AQ Crochets on Instagram and now on YouTube and Etsy, and this is her baby dragon pattern. It's so cute. I actually, funny story, I showed it to my daughter. She is in college, so we FaceTime all the time. So I showed it to her and she called it a cow dragon. And now that's all I can see. It does a little look like a cow, but also a dragon. And that makes me love it all the more. Also, I did it in Mushu colors. If Disney, eat your heart out. I just used the Mushu colors. It doesn't look like Mushu at all, but it gave me that kind of vibe. And so now my daughter and I are saying back and forth to each other the Mushu line, dishonor on your cow. Dishonor on your cow. Dishonor on your cow and your family. Dishonor on you, your family, and your cow. Dishonor on your cow. Anyway, Anyway, getting a little carried away. This is such a simple pattern. This was so easy. This was so quick. This is a much better beginner pattern for my way of thinking. You do have to sew together the head and the body because the head works horizontal and the body is, the head is a vertical crochet spiral and the body is horizontal. You do have to sew those. You do have to sew on the wings. I think you have to sew on the ears. Yeah, you do have to sew on the ears. And there is an option for this kind of flared nostril or like a little slanted embroidered nostril. I liked this, which is done with a bobble stitch. I thought it was really cute. I do think if I made it again, I might make these bobbles a little bigger so they're a little more pronounced on the body, or make it with different yarn. This is Parfait Chunky and it is a little pliable. It's a pretty soft, squishy yarn. It doesn't hold its shape as well as like a big twist really holds its shape, and you can see how defined the bobbles are on this big twist compared to the bobbles here. So I think that would make it even cuter. I think that would make it even cuter. I used a 5.0 millimeter hook with all the dragons you've seen so far today. These wings are so good. I really do like these wings. They were super easy, probably the easiest wings I made today, but I think they are one of my favorites. All in all, I think this pattern is a big win. Really love the shaping on the head. I do wish the body was not quite so pudgy on mine, and that's, I think, just a result of stuffing it and having a yarn that just has a little less structure to it. All in all, though, I really like this one. I think it's really cute. Oh, and this one was $4.99. AQ Crochet on Etsy, $4.99. Super cute. So you say you want no-sew crochet patterns, right? You'll notice we don't actually have any of those yet, but that's okay. We do have one. We have one no-sew crochet pattern, and I'm about to show it to you. This is from Zazoolia on Etsy, and it is the No-Sew Dragon, and it is so stinking cute. I've actually made this before. It's the only pattern in this roundup that I had made prior to this. I made this a few months ago and sold it at a market in the fall. And let me tell you, okay, it is no-sew. That is fantastic. But to get this level of cuteness and detail and just everything and make it no-sew is gonna cost you. And not in money, but in technique, time, learning curve. There's a lot that goes into making this pattern no-sew, not for the faint of heart. It took me, the first time I made it, I wasn't even sure I was gonna revisit it, but I decided for this roundup that I really needed to try it again. And I'm really glad I did because it was way easier for me this time around. Still hard, way easier. You make literally all these pieces first, and then you start here, and it's so, is it not the tiniest, cutest little dragon? To make it this tiny and no-sew and this detailed, it's mind-blowing to me. It is really hard to put together. It is not a beginner pattern. And the pattern itself is very clear. It's very well written. There are lots of great pictures. Just be forewarned, the tail is crocheted on over 2 separate rounds. The wings are crocheted on in 2 separate rounds. So you kind of have one round you crochet in, the other round's kind of hanging around waiting for you. So they're a little floppy for a while. So there are points in time where you have like all of these things hanging off of your plush, just kind of waiting to come together. And it's a lot. This tail, the way this little end piece attaches to the tail, oh my gosh, my mind hurt so bad trying to figure this out. Once I got it, it totally made sense. But trying to figure it out was, oh, more than I could handle one day. It was a lot. But it is, honestly, guys, this one is so cute. It is $5.06 on Etsy. It is not a quick market make, but I do think it's worthwhile. I made it last time I made it in Bernat Sparkle, and so it made it quite a bit bigger, maybe 1.5 times this size. This one I think I like more. It's so cute. This is Big Twist Posh and made with a 5mm hook. And it is so good. Guys, okay, my embroidered little nostril flares need to be moved down. I worked a lot on placing those, and I had really a hard time getting them somewhere I liked. This little heart detail, also stinking cute. I think this one is a fun one to try. If you've got a little experience under your belt and you're up for a no-sew adventure, I think you might really like this one. So cute. Okay, Zazoolia on Etsy, $5.06. Okay guys, we are rounding the corner into my top 3, my very favorites, honestly. This one is, you guys have probably seen this pattern. This is done by Refined Vibes, who is a creator here on YouTube and on Instagram, and she's super sweet. And this is, I want to say this is her first paid pattern that she has released. She has the channel with her mom. I don't know if they did it together. How cute. This is Posie the Fairy Dragon. She's so adorable, guys. She's really cute. This is not no-sew. It is a fair amount of work, but it works up pretty quick. This one didn't take a whole lot longer than an hour. This is all, the body's all done in one piece. All these parts though, that you have to sew on, there are a lot of them, but they work up super fast. And I found them to be pretty forgiving on where you attach them. It didn't seem too finicky to me to figure out. It all went pretty smooth. I do have some thoughts though. I wish pattern designers all did this, and they don't. And it's not done here. But when you write a pattern that's all one piece like this to make it no-sew, we see this more and more. And so right here at the neck, it comes down and you do these many, many rows of this neck. And then when it's time to start increasing here at the body again, there is an area where it's like 3 increases together. And so I know that that means we're trying to increase out on one side more than another, that like we're shaping the body of the dragon. However, my tension is different than everyone else's tension. Different than the designers, different than yours. It could be even different than mine from day to day. And so I really wish that they would specify to us where you want those increases to end up, so I can make sure I'm at the right spot. Because I might end this row, and I did, kind of here, kind of over here, just barely off the top, which would have resulted in my increases being on the side. And so we would have increased over to one side over the other. I don't think that's what they meant for me to do. So I made a couple extra stitches so I could decrease in the center of the body. I would have really appreciated knowing if that was supposed to be on the top or the bottom. Like, just say you may need to adjust your stitches by 1 or 2 forward or backward to make sure your increases fall on the bottom of the dragon's belly or on the top of the dragon's back. Just adding that little bit in lets me kind of know where to go. I didn't know if those increases should be on the bottom or the top. I guessed, and I still think it turned out really cute. Even from the pictures, I couldn't totally tell where I wanted those increases. So it was a crapshoot. It was a crapshoot for me. I don't know, does that happen to anyone else? Can we just start adding those directions into patterns? Or is it just me? And if it's me, can we do it? Can we just do it for me? Let's just do it for me. Come on, people, just do it for me. Can we just add that in to the patterns just so that we know? Just add it in for me, people. Add it in. There are some designers who already do this and do a really, really good job of it. I've seen it on All From Jade Patterns. I've seen it on Rose and Lily. There are several more. There are a few, but really the vast majority don't. And I don't blame you. You're making your pattern, so you know what you want to do. Just clue us in. Just, can I get a hint? Can I get a vowel? That would be great. Otherwise, the only other really tricky, there were 2 other kind of tricky parts on this pattern. One is this tail. There are actually 2 options. There's a tail that's shaped like this heart, and then there's a ball-shaped tail. The ball-shaped tail is definitely easier and more beginner friendly. This one did take a little more technique to get the heart shape, and it was just a little trickier, but there are some good pictures that really gave me a better clue. I do think this section might benefit from a video tutorial also. Then there's the ears, and these ears, they're floppy and they're adorable. They are not the same. There is a separate pattern for the right ear and the left ear because they kind of flare out on one side more than the other. So they're like a mirror image of each other, right? Really cute. I have so much to say about this pattern. Really cute, but for a beginner, I think that they're maybe a little more challenging than they need to be. And you might be able to just get away with making an oval shape. And I think it would be really close to being just as cute as this. Also, one more thing I want to mention about this pattern, which I absolutely loved, is that Larissa was very intentional in telling you that there were parts of this pattern she would recommend using with a bigger hook or a smaller hook. Love that. The more information a pattern designer gives me, the happier I am. So for these spikes and the wings, not the wings, the spikes in the ears specifically, she used a 6.0 millimeter hook for her dragon and recommended sizing down to a 4.5 for these pieces, so they were just a little bit smaller, a little tighter of a crochet. I thought that was brilliant. I think that there are lots of times where that opportunity presents itself in patterns that if you just tweaked your hook size a little bit, you might be happier with the end result. Larissa, I think it's great that you did that. Thank you so much for adding that in and giving us permission to choose how we want our dragon to look and if that makes sense for us or not. I really like that. You can see kind of the difference. This one, I sized down. I was using a 7 millimeter hook because this is Bernat Baby. And this one I sized down to a 5.5. And this one I did with my 7. So you can kind of see the difference. I wanted you guys to be able to see that. This one's definitely a little smaller and this one's definitely a little bigger. All in all, this pattern is so cute, guys. You can't go wrong trying this one out. It's on Etsy for $5. It is, I think, her first paid pattern. Go support her. I'll have it linked down below. But way to go, Larissa. This was super ambitious for your first paid pattern, and I'm loving it. I love it. Really cute. Okay. 2 more patterns to go. I'm so excited. Okay, these last 2 patterns, I don't even know which order to show you in because I love them both equally for totally different reasons. Let's start here. This is from Red Mill Crochet, and it's kind of similar to the Posie one I just showed you. This is the Darling Dragon. I mean, I just really like this one, guys. Okay, if you have not run into Red Mill Crochet, then you have not been shopping for dragon patterns on Etsy. She comes up in the search towards the very top every time I've tried to search, and she has like 5, maybe 6 different dragon patterns that I have seen. This one is actually one of the smaller ones, and it's still pretty good size. This was done in Big Twist Posh, so it could be bigger. Like if I made this in Sweet Snuggles or Bernat, this would be quite a bit larger, and it is one of the smaller patterns. I love all the details on this. I love the details of the legs, that you've got this 2-part. These are 2 separate parts that have to be sewn on separately, but they look so good that way. The ears, the horns, I did use trim. I used this little bunny from Premier just to add a little something extra, and I did the whole little tail piece in it. There are 2 tail piece options. This is the one that I chose. You could take a look at them and see. The whole pattern is pretty straightforward. It does have the same issue that I found with the Posie Dragon, in that when you got to a point where you had to start increasing, I would have loved to have a clue on where she wanted me to be in the start of that round. Just say, you may need to adjust the first stitch of your round so that your first set of increases are on the dragon's back. That would be great. But I did make that change on my own. I just wish they would add that routinely. The eyes, oh, they turn out, she's just really cute, guys. Really stupid cute. so good. So good. But, oh, so much sewing. So much sewing on this one. Honestly, this whole body is one piece. So you start off really great. Everything else has to be sewn on. The ears. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 items you were sewing on to this not so huge dragon. And I don't think you could get away without one of them. They all are necessary. They all look so cute. At the end of the day, guys, this is one of those patterns that it is so good that for me, it is worth every bit of the sewing. I would continue to make this. In fact, she has bundle packs. I bought this for $4.25 on Etsy, this pattern. She has bundle packs. There's a pack of 4 that's like $12.25 for a pack of her 4 of her patterns, which include 3 of these sleepy dragons and 1 dragon that's sitting up, Celeste. Celeste is gorgeous. She looks like this really sleek regal cat. So cute. But then there's a 5 pattern pack for $15. If it were me, that's the one I would go buy. I would go click on it in the description right now. I would go buy that $15 pattern because you get all of those. Plus, you get this like teddy bear squishy looking dragon that's named Charlie, and he's just a totally different vibe. And I think he's adorable. I really want that one. Celeste, this, and the Charlie, they're all super different. So at the very bare minimum, I would have probably wanted all 3 of those patterns. And they're, I think, all $4.25 each, which gets me close enough to $15 and that I might as well just buy all 5, right? I'm almost to 15 just with the 3 that I really would want. The other 2 is, what are their names? I can't remember the middle-sized name, but the big one is Winnie. Winnie is huge. Winnie is huge. I really want to make Winnie. I'm going to have to go back and buy their pattern pack, I think. I really want to buy Winnie. She would be so pretty, you guys. Well, here's what I know. I know that this pattern, this particular plush that I worked up from it, is one of those that I smile every time I see it. Not every pattern does that for me. A lot of them I really like and I love selling them, but not every pattern just lights up my heart and makes me smile every time I see it. This one does. Oh, speaking of, unrelated. Have you guys seen this one? This one does the exact same thing for me. It is not a dragon. This is that new elephant baby Samba pattern from Melly Inspired Crochet, who's also on YouTube. This is her first paid pattern, and it is also super ambitious for a first paid pattern and totally brilliant. I'm gonna link this one down below. It's not related to the dragons, I'm sorry, but oh, so cute, guys. So cute and so quick to work up. I was surprised. Anyway, this one, I just love it. I think you guys would too. So cute. $4.25. We have made our way all the way to the very last dragon in today's roundup. This one is also kind of from a heavy hitter designer, I think, or one that I really like, and it's the Crochet Code. I bought this pattern on Etsy. Oh, I bought this pattern on Etsy for $4.98. And this is Drake the dragon. And he's so cute, guys. Be careful, there are 2 different dragons that look really similar. This is Drake. I love Drake. The other one is called Rocco, and they're very similar but different. The muzzle's different. I think the spikes are probably different. The wing shape definitely different. I chose this one because I'm 100% sure I would not have to sew a muzzle onto this dragon. And I love that. The shaping of this head is just my favorite of all the dragons today. It looks so good. Again, this is the Big Twist Posh yarn, and look how nice and defined those baubles are compared to these baubles on the Parfait Chunky. This, I really am having a love affair with Big Twist Posh. It is such a good yarn for so many reasons. This is like the least of them is what good definition you get and what good structure you get from it. It just is so pretty. But regardless, this pattern is a rock star. Not having to sew the muzzle on means that you're working vertically here and horizontally here. That's always going to mean, or almost always going to mean, that you have to sew the head on. There are a couple of exceptions. Mama Made Minis Levies don't work that same way. You don't have to sew on the muzzles always, and you also don't have to sew on the head. To see how that works, check out, I'll link that down below too. She's got her book on Amazon, which is such a good deal for 16 Levy patterns. I cannot recommend it enough. And she also doesn't make me sew on muzzles as often, every now and then. But Crochet Code, I also made a unicorn from Crochet Code recently. Same kind of thing. And I just really enjoyed it, which is why I had to pick one of her dragon patterns for this roundup. Let's talk about it. Okay, the ears are adorable, went on really easy. The spikes down the back, this is all crocheted onto the body, so no sewing on that. I do think that I might play with that moving forward and see if I can't make those a little bigger. They're made primarily out of slip stitches and double crochets. I might work up to like a triple crochet to see if I can just give that maybe a little bit of a bigger bump, because I think that might be cute. These wings are so clean, guys. They're so pretty. They go on so nice. The only thing I think might be missing from this pattern for me, and you guys let me know, weigh in down below. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence, which is why I haven't done it yet. I feel like the front of this is just really, really blue. There's just nothing breaking up all the blue. The back, I love how it looks. So I made a little oval just to kind of give me an idea, but I think maybe a green oval belly patch. Is it too much? I can't decide. Is this too much? Is this too or is it just right? I don't know. I can't decide, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Oh, word to the wise though, is it advertised as having a low sew option? It is not no sew if you just follow the pattern straight out of the PDF. You have to, it does say at the beginning of the pattern, make sure you read through that if you want to do the low sew option, which I absolutely wanted to do, to go down to page 18 when you get to that point. I absolutely didn't do that. And so I started making the body, and I made it like up to here before I realized that I did not in fact crochet in the legs. And so I had two options. I could either resign myself to sewing in the legs later or I frogged this bad boy and crocheted those legs in, and I'm so glad I did. I think they have such a better, they just bend nicely. When they're crocheted in and they're meant to be like a sitting dragon, which this guy really is, I just think it sits nicely. So don't be me. Make sure you switch over to page 18 when you get to the point where you need to crochet things in, because like I said, I frogged it back. Also super confident in frogging it back because this is Big Twist Posh, and Big Twist Posh frogs like a champ. This yarn, guys, I really love it. I love it more every time I work with it. It's not perfect. It does have some challenges. It is a little stiffer. Sometimes I don't love that, depending on what I'm making, but for the most part, if you're making a project for the first time or you're designing a pattern, you cannot beat this yarn. If you think you might have to frog, it doesn't shed, it doesn't fall apart. It's got great definition. I love it. This is not a Big Twist Posh video. Moving on. All right, this I think is these two actually are my favorite patterns of the day, but honestly, all of these are so cute. I am not disappointed in how any of them turned out. Even this Knot Monster one, which again, such a good design. I cannot fault the design of this. I think it's really cute. It's different. It's got character. It's got quirk. So many things I like about the design. I just want the pattern to be better. I just want your pattern to be better, but you're super cute. You're super cute. Gilbert. We're going to call him Gilbert. This is Gilbert. And Gilbert is adorable, but he could be easier to make. All right. Thanks, Gilbert. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I have had so much fun making these patterns, and I've had fun sharing them with you. Keep an eye on my community page because one, I am working on a Q&A video, and I will post one more time on my community page and my Instagram to see if anybody has any questions. It occurs to me that once again, I have not even told you my name and my channel. I am Karen. This is Yarnandwhimsydesigns. We're almost done with the video, and I have failed at that task once again. But also, I just have not shared with you guys a whole lot about myself beyond what I show on the channel. So if you have any questions about my crochet, my markets, my plans, my personal information, like kids, my family, what we like to do for fun, I don't know, anything you guys want to know, if you want to know anything at all, come by and post on either my community page or on my Instagram, or send me a message. I would love to answer those questions and just get to know you guys some more. You guys have been so amazing to me. I appreciate you more than you know. You brighten my day every single day. And thanks for hanging out with me. Just thanks. Thanks for being amazing. I have way more yarn to test. I'm excited to show you guys. I cannot wait. I have plans to make something with some of the new yarn I got, and I can't wait to show you. I'm really hoping it turns out and I can show you, so we'll see. Meanwhile, I hope you have a great day, and we will be back.